Hey folks, welcome to another day, another unboxing. I've got the OnePlus N300 5G here. This is the cheapest OnePlus phone available in North America with 5G, of course, but it's $228 US from T-Mobile right now. So let's check it out. Let's have a look, shall we? Here's what the box is like. There's an IMEI in the back here. More IMEIs on top. Anyway, let's just open it up and go from there, shall we? Here we go. Da, 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 da. Okay, got a divider, and in here we'll find, let's see, the usual SIM removal tool and some paperwork, specifically terms and conditions. Never settle. Here's the instructions. This is the Spanish side. Here's the English side. And yeah, that's basically it for that. Here's the phone. Exciting. Okay. And another divider. Because yes, this actually comes with pretty decent charging. In fact, it's 33 watt. So here's your 33 watt charger. And you can see it's USB type A port on one side here. And then you have a cord, which is your standard A to C cord from OnePlus. A here and C here. Yeah, pretty much what you'd expect. Nothing too crazy here. So that's it for the box. You got nothing else. So let's have a look at the phone, shall we? Here we go. Battery is non-removable. Duh. All right, we've got an IMEI sticker back here. So let me free this from its little cover here and remove the IMEI sticker. Here we go. And ta-da! Nice. OnePlus and some cameras. All right, let's fire it up and let's talk through the specs. All right, I can tell you right now, the fingerprint sensor is embedded in the power lock key, which means this is likely to be an IPS panel. And yes, it is actually a 1080p 6.56 inch 90 hertz IPS panel. So no AMOLED here, unlike the N25G last year, which by the way is a little better and costs $282, or at least it did at launch. It's probably more affordable now. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of bezel here with a chin that's also quite noticeable. So here you go, there's a display, it's nice and bright. And there's a teardrop notch, that makes it look a little old-fashioned. Yeah, so I mean, other than that, let's explore the rest of it, shall we? Okay, so the guts are run by a Dimensity 810 from MediaTek. That's a 5G chip, 6 nanometers, not too bad. You've got 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. And that's actually less than the 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage you get on the N20 5G. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think you really should spend your money on the N20 5G right now. The next thing is, of course, the cameras, and I'll mention those in a second. Let's start with the selfie cam. 16 megapixel f/2.0, don't know much of the specs, does 1080p video. Then in the back here, we have a couple of cameras. So the main camera is a 48 megapixel f/1.8 with phase detect autofocus, no OIS here, of course. And we have a 2 megapixel f/2.4 depth camera, basically a sticker cam that doesn't really do anything. So, you know, basically you just have a main cam, no ultra wide, no macro or anything. Not that these macro cameras are any good anyway, but I do like the aesthetic of this camera pod. Now, this all feels like plastic. The frame is definitely plastic. Let me walk you through the edges. You can see the power lock key here on the right-hand side with the embedded fingerprint sensor. You've got the speaker and USB Type-C and microphone and a headphone jack on the bottom, which is nice. Of course, it does have stereo speakers, which is very nice. And then we have SIM tray and volume rocker on the left-hand side. It does have micro SD support, which is nice as well. And then on top here, you have a secondary mic, nothing too crazy. So yeah, now, in addition to the 33 watt charging, under the hood, you have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty decent. And that should last a long time with the Dimensity 810. And that's actually one of the areas where this is better than the N20 5G because it only has a 4,500 milliamp hour battery. So that's something to keep in mind. But of course, you know, you're not getting a Snapdragon 695 5G here. You're not getting as much RAM and storage. You're not getting as nice of a display. Honestly, that 1080p AMOLED with a hole punch, I think, is a better display, even if it's only 60 hertz, quite frankly, on the N20 5G. So keep all that in mind. Now, is this a bad phone? No, it's a decent price point, but for this price, you can also get, you know, T-Mobile has their Revel phone for the year, which has a bigger display and has more camera options, including ultra wide. So, you know, you should consider your options. I personally think that this is a decent phone, but in my opinion, you should probably pay a little more and buy the N20 5G. You won't regret it. So that's it. A quick look here at this OnePlus N300 5G Dimensity 810 equipped budget, for the US at least, smartphone. This is pretty affordable. And, you know, it has all the bits and pieces you need. And the only thing is that display. I'm not too convinced. Look at these bezels. But the camera should be okay, 48 megapixel, and the battery life should be great. Dimensity 810 is a good chipset. So yeah, that's basically it, folks. So tell me in the comments here, what do you think of this phone? Would you buy this over a Revel? Would you buy a Revel over this? Would you spend the extra money to go from $228 to $282 and buy the N20 5G? Tell me in the comments, like, subscribe, tell your friends, click the little notification below. And this video is a compliment to my podcast, mobiletechpodcast.com. And remember the Patreon, patreon.com/TNKGRL. That'll get you extra content. You'll get a video version of the podcast, which is exclusive and comes out before the free public audio version of the podcast. And of course, you will also get perks like access to the Discord server and stuff. So that's it, folks. Quick look at the OnePlus N300 5G. Cheers, everybody.